The War in Heaven was a cataclysmic conflict that occurred eons before the current timeline of Warhammer 40k. It was fought between the ancient Necrontyr and the Old Ones, the architect of the galaxy. The Necrontyr were driven by their desire for immortality and power, and thus made a dark pact with the Catan, star gods who offered them such in exchange for their souls. This conflict led to massive devastation across world after world, engulfing the entire galaxy. Eventually, the Necrons achieved a Pyrrhic victory, but their triumph came at a great cost, for their Catan masters betrayed them, leading to a period of dormancy and stagnation, and the galaxy was left in a state of chaos and ruin. It is due to this that the aftermath of the War in Heaven set the stage for the current era of Warhammer 40k, a galaxy with unending war, death, and devastation. And that's pretty much all we know about the War in Heaven. It was a cataclysmic battle between these two races where there was really no victor. And now we get to see a little bit more insight into this era, all thanks to the eyes of Vashtorr. Vashtorr is actually talking to Abaddon during the Arcs of Omen, the Lion campaign book, where he gives Abaddon a little bit more insight as to what exactly happened during this very interesting era of the Warhammer universe. So I'm going to go ahead and give you an excerpt from this, and we get to see exactly what transpired here. Now, it's not as detailed as one would hope, but this is a very good look in a third-person type of view where Vashtorr is just giving us information. So without further ado, let's dive in. Long before the forebearers of your race squirmed amidst primordial ooze, a war there was between entities you would think gods. I know of the great game, and the gods that play it, snarled Abaddon. I am not their pawn, and I want nothing of any weapon they control. Vashtorr simply waved the objection aside. Different gods. These were pantheons bound to the realm of mortal things that had wrought their own divinity. On one side, they who were named the Old Ones. On the other, the parasite gods of void and star. Furor raised across the void. Dread powers they unleashed, such even that they with their mantles of omnipotence comprehended not. Fire they yoked, never believing it would burn them. Determined not to gratify the demon by showing how intrigued he was, Abaddon merely crooked an eyebrow. Within his chest, though, his hearts beat quicker. Such a power was precisely what he sought. Long and long raged their conflict. Heavy was its price. One after one they toppled, and lesser minds crawled in their wake, craven, desperate. They saw not the power of their vanished master's devices, only the terror of what such technologies had wrought. That which they could not break apart or unmake, the fearful sealed away in realms neither empiric nor corporeal. The vault they locked, the key they sundered. And you know where this vault lies? How to unlock it? Asked Abaddon. Hidden lies the vault, from even my sight, said Vashtorr. But fashion we the key, and it shall find for us its lock. For it is not the singular longing of all tools to be used as their purpose dictates. Come to the point, demon, said Abaddon, gesturing at the pillar atop the dais. What do you want of me, and what has that lump of stone to do with any of this? There were the worlds to which those ancient servants bound the crucial mechanisms of the key, hoping there forever to imprison them, answered Vashtorr. One world has long since rotted, and Plagueheart was unleashed. Another became empty and desolate, and with all its jailers long dead, turned to dust, the Chuchula escaped, for it desired, needed to be used. And the third world, to whose essence the Ouroboros was bound, the third was shattered by a betrayal most gratifying, and that world's name, the Great Despoiler, was Caliban. Caliban shall rise again as wormwood, and at its heart the dissonance engine. Together shall they form the key, whose power is to bore through the space between the Empyrean and the corporeal. You speak of the webway? Asked Abaddon in surprise. One of the great tunneling engines, it once was. Now a thing of gouging and ruin shall I make of it. Like a worm that is a god shall it chew through the space between, until at last it finds the lock into which it fits. We see here that Vashtorr is basically talking about these world-ending weapons fashioned into planets, and Wormwood is the last one. Wormwood is basically Caliban reformed into a demon world, and that is what basically will guide these Chaos Warriors to the key to unlocking the vault, to unleashing a great weapon of cataclysmic power that was used during the age of the War in Heaven. This was probably one of my favorite new campaigns in recent times. It introduced a lot into the setting. Demigods, the lion returning, we have Caliban returning as a demon planet, and we have Abaddon once again in his crusade to destroy the galaxy. And it just gives you exactly what we want. Multiple races being featured across multiple campaign books that culminate into an epic battle on a planet for the Dark Angels that just means so much, and we get to see Ultramarines, Blood Angels, Alpha Legion, and just so much more all working together. Hell, even the Tau were a part of this campaign. So I think we get more stories like this, more campaigns book in these types of manners, that we have a lot to look forward to in the coming years of 40k, especially if we get to learn more about the War in Heaven. Now, one of the things that you guys always ask us is, will we ever get to see what happened during the Great Crusade, what happened during the Unification Wars? And I think the War in Heaven is one of those aspects that the community really wants to see as to what exactly transpired. Throughout the Horus Heresy novels, we get inklings into the past, but never really exploring the setting in a fulfilling way. So I think with the End of Death Volume 3 kind of cementing the end of the Horus Heresy, will they go into the future of that timeline and into the Scouring? Potentially yes, but I wish they go in the opposite way and give us a more insightful look into the Unification Wars, or even older than that, into the War of Heaven, because it's going to be really interesting to see the old ones explained instead of just being this mysterious, almost amphibian race that created the Eldar and the Orcs. But that's just me speculating. Let me know your thoughts down below. Would you like to see some type of animation or novel series explaining the War in Heaven, the old ones, the Necrontyr, the Catan, and what other aspects of 40k that hasn't really been explored do you want GW to give us? Because I know it's pretty divided. A lot of you want to know about the Lost and the Damned, the legions that were forgotten and purged, the 2nd and the 11th, the Legion of the Damned. So will those ever get answered? Maybe, hopefully, but at the same time, probably not. Because again, some mystery in this universe of 40k is kind of warranted. But we'll go into that discussion another day. And that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video out to all your friends who love 40k. And I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. This has been the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll catch you then.